on this morning. Carol and Penn, they're going to join us at 10:30. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the hands of our Assistant City Clerk.
This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, July 2nd. We have approval of minutes of June 18th.
Any issues, anyone?
Appeals, we have requests for waivers of the noise ordinance at 457 Charles Street on July 4th from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. At 601 State Street on July 28th from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. 206 State Street, October 5th from 2:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. At Doyle Park on July 6th from 4 until 7 p.m. At 1555 Fleetwood Drive East on July 4th from 5 to 10 p.m. And at 3370 Sheringham Drive on July 6th from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m.
Mr. President,
Councilman Days?
excuse me, this last week, this last one, request for the waiver on Sheringham, the applicant made a similar request, an identical request several weeks ago. And at that time, I told the council that a year or so ago, we had granted a waiver at this location to this individual. And I heard from the neighbors all day long and all night about how loud it was and how disruptive it was. And so I asked the council to deny the request when it appeared several weeks ago, which the council did. Subsequently, I received an email from this lady asking why it had been denied, and I told her why I'd asked that it be denied. But I got an email, did this in an email. Last week, I was advised by our staff that she had called up here, and the message I got was that she wanted to talk to me about it. And I called her back, and she said, no, she didn't want to talk to me about it. She wanted to talk to the city council about it. So she's going to be in here today. She's going to talk about it. My position remains the same.
Ramos, any issues?
This is in the middle of a residential area, and I was receiving complaints during the day and, of course, at night until it expired.
Yes, I'm fine. This is on July.
Okay. All right, Madam Clerk?
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Creola Ruffin will provide information about the Gulf Coast Ethnic and Heritage Jazz Festival. Brianna Cotton will speak about her past and present requests.
I was going to suggest, I talked to the president about this, that it'd be nice if we could hold the request for the waiver out when we agree to the rest of them, take it up separately and allow her to come speak at that time before we vote on the waiver.
Yeah, or either
Ask her to speak.
speak in a discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, presentation.
Right.
Well, no, when we go through it, when we take yours up separate when discussion, we can have her come down at that time and talk.
Oh, we'd have to
Right,
wait
right,
for
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, hold it out, let her come down and speak.
Yeah.
You sure you want to do it that way?
I'd like her to
Just
have
set
an
the-
opportunity to, I know, but I'd like her to have an opportunity to speak before we vote on
I
it.
understand, but there are, it just may be best to move the agenda item to the first item after that, rather than waiving the rules in the middle of other people petitioning.
No, I was just saying, when we have the discussion, when we vote on it, maybe we can ask her to come down at that time and talk about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we wouldn't move it.
Yeah, you can waive the rules and have her come down at that point to do that.
You just have to move to
Yeah.
waive the rules.
That's fine. Madam Clerk?
I'm waive what rule?
Waive the order of the agenda and then allow her to come and have her 3 minutes at the time you're voting on it.
No.
No.
Can ask,
Yeah,
like a point of privilege on.
yeah,
this.
right.
Yeah.
To allow her to come speak at that point, yeah.
All right, Madam Clerk?
Sabrina Mass, Amtrak Mental Health and Council Weaponization of Police Against Citizens and Abuse of Power. James Jackson Jr. concerns about the lack of transparency and accountability within the police department. Sylvester Cheatham comments about the death of Jawan Dallas. Pat Law requests an update on the Jawan Dallas case and the letter sent to the Comet Cowboys. Christine Dallas will request donations for the backpack giveaway for the Jawan Dallas Foundation. And Reggie Hill will offer comments about performance contracts, ARP, Civic Center, Parks and Rec, and Public Safety. Ordinances held over, 39041, ordinance to amend sections 39 through 96.1C and D2 of the Mobile City Code to change noise ordinance cutoff time and residential districts and to codify procedures for applications for waivers.
Mr. President,
That Mr. Woods.
I know this week, really not so much as far as constituent wise, received a lot of information, or a lot of concerns about this, but I just wanted to just kind of step in and say that I support this. I don't see, I know I received probably like 2 emails. I think everybody received one regarding some economic benefits of keeping the hour during the week but I will make a point that some of that communication came from outside of constituent base, so outside of anybody's constituent base. So I just wanted to reaffirm that, I'll be voting in favor of this. I think it's a good idea, especially coming from a district that is heavily concentrated around suburbia per se, or neighborhoods. I don't see any issue of dropping the hour, especially during the week. And especially as somebody that has 3 kids and I want them to go to bed, I don't see an issue about that. So I just want to say that I've received a lot of positive things about this, and looking forward to voting for it.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Consent resolutions held over, 4382, declare the structure at 442B Cottage Hill Road a public nuisance and order it secured. 481 and 482 are fixing costs for the demolition of structures at 1107 and 1109 Spring Hill Avenue and 1111 Spring Hill Avenue. Resolutions held over,
Hold
zero.
on for 1 second.
Hold on,
Mr. Dokabar?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I just have an update for Mr. Daves. If you recall, 442B Cottage Hill Road is Barrington Apartment Complex, and Building B is where a fire occurred in one of the units. This particular location is in receivership, and 30 days ago, we had an attorney present himself and say that, yes, they were going to hire a professional, design plans, and get permits. Regretfully, that has not happened yet. Due to the condition of the building and the fact that there's still one resident that we know of, it can have a design professional by the city drop some plans to move forward to secure this building.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Resolutions held over, 01563, authorize and accept agreement with the state of Alabama for the Innovating St. Louis Street project. 08564 through 566 are approving purchase orders to CDW Government for annual renewal of Cisco malware and network security protection software, to Dana Safety Supply for Chevrolet Tahoes, and to Gray Bar Electric Company for aluminum light poles. 09567, transfer funds from Capital Project St. Louis Street Streetscapes to Grant Fund Innovating St. Louis Street. 21568, authorized contract with Johns and Kirksey for roofing repairs at Traffic Division Facility. 28569, authorized waiving of all Mobile Airport Authority's administrative licensing and permitting fees relating to the Brooklyn Terminal expansion.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds?
there's an amendment that I'll offer that just adds the following. Nothing in this resolution shall be construed to waive any other legal requirements imposed on the MAA or any contractor retained by the MAA, including where necessary, obtaining a valid business license from the city of Mobile and paying any fees associated with same, and any and all administrative licensing and or permitting requirements separate from fees which may be applicable. I'll offer that amendment.
And I've discussed this with Mr. Woods, and I believe they're okay with that amendment as well.
47570, assent to the vacation of a portion of a service road and city right-of-way located at Knollwood Drive and Medical Park Drive. 47571 is consider a vacation fee as a condition of the vacation of a portion of the service road and city right-of-way. Consent resolutions being introduced. 58573 and 574 are declaring weeds noxious, group 1658, and assessing costs for removal of weeds, repeat weed lien, group 75. 60, 575 through 580 are determining appropriations to Opportunity for Entertainers and Performing Arts, Veterans Recovery Resources, St. Ignatius Parish, Japanese Garden Foundation, Opportunity for Entertainers and Performing Arts, and Hillsdale Heights Homeowners Association serve a public purpose and approve payment.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds?
47,571, that is the, consider a vacation fee.
Yes,
No.
the waiving of the fee
Yeah,
is,
that's to set the fee. That's not the waiving of the, you got to set. the
Oh,
fee.
I got you. So we've got an assent to the vacation and
the
then
fee
setting the
as a
fee. The
condition.
waiver is not on.
The waivers, this is the first time we're seeing the waiver, so it'll be next week when we vote on the waiver.
resolutions being introduced, 01581, authorize agreement with Alabama Department of Transportation for 2024 TAP Downtown Mobile Sidewalk Improvements, $1,105,926.25. 08582, approve award of item-based bid for medical oxygen. 08583, approve purchase order to Best Price Services for mulching of Greenlock Road median, $16,732.89.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Woods?
is there somebody like to just answer, I guess, what, how far agree lot are we going from, we going all the way to the newly annexed, all the way back to university, or what is there anybody that might could answer what that looks like?
I'll have to get you the streets, but it was supposed to be all the areas that we redid.
Okay.
With the tree, or, redid with the plantings.
Okay. And that's shifting back to what we've talked about before, where self-sustaining plants, and this isn't something we're gonna have to touch every 2 months or something. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir, thank you.
08584, approve purchase order to Donahue Chevrolet for Chevrolet Silverado truck for traffic engineering, $62,105.50. 08585, approve purchase order to Environmental Systems Research Institute for subscription to ESRI Advantage for consulting support and training services for GIS, $74,300. 08586, approve purchase order to Ingram Equipment Company for 3 knuckle boom assemblies for municipal garage, $20,778.50. 08587, approve purchase order to Samois Technology for security cameras for MPD, $61,572.30. 08588, approve purchase order to Shaw Contract Flooring Services for cruise terminal flooring replacement, $23,364.93. 08589, approve purchase order to UJ Chevrolet for wreck repair for Chevrolet Tahoe, $25,286.86.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds?
I've noticed as of recent, this just brought my attention to it, that we've got a pile of trucks out there, police trucks, that don't have the stickers that say Mobile Police on it. I'm just curious, of all the fleet that we have, how many have the, Mobile Police Department on them versus the ones we don't?
I mean, I'd have to get you the exact number, but the ones in uniform services are marked. The ones that are detectives or non-uniform services are unmarked.
I see a lot of unmarked all throughout town, and I had a constituent reach out and say, man, it would be nice if everybody knew that there was a police officer right here in the area, with it being marked to deter crime versus, unmarked cars everywhere. So I'd be curious to know what the number is. Is it half of our fleet? Is it, a quarter? What is the amount?
I'd say the majority of our fleet is marked, but I'll get you the numbers.
Okay, thank you.
09590, transfer funds from capital project grant match port security to project fiscal year 23 port security grant program, $21,500. 09591, transfer funds from capital project grant match port security to grant fund project match holding account for fiscal year 24 port security grant, $11,584.51. 09-592, transfer funds from capital project IT technical and infrastructure upgrades to grant fund project fiscal year 23 port security grant program, $8,650.61. 09-593, transfer funds from capital project IT technical and infrastructure upgrades to grant fund project grant match holding account, $4,401.50. 21-594, authorized contract with McCrory and Williams for Spring Hill Court retaining wall improvements, $69,500.
Mr. President,
Yes.
on this one, you all may remember that we transferred some funds a while back for this project. I know this is over $50,000, but I would really like to request, and hope you all will go along with it, that we move forward and waive the rules on this one to pass this contract today, because the work will have to be done before school starts, which means we have to block a lane of Spring Hill Avenue. The longer we wait to get this done, because we'll also have a contract coming up for actual construction. And if we have to block a lane of Spring Hill Avenue when school starts back, that is going to be a real mess, because this area is about a couple of blocks east of St. Ignatius, which is right in the St. Paul's and the Mary B. Austin school zone. And, you know, again, the longer we wait, the longer it's going to take to get done, and blocking that lane of Spring Hill Avenue is just going to be a horrible mess. And if we can go ahead and get this passed today, and when the construction contract gets on the agenda, do the same thing, we'll hopefully get that work going and finished before school starts. But we'll have to waive the rules in order to do it today.
Any issue, anyone with that?
I have no objection to not to waiving the rules on this, but I mean, when a construction contract comes up, we're talking about how much money. I mean, I think that one, you know, maybe we handle a little bit differently, or maybe they can, you know, get it done a little bit quicker.
It'll be a big
To
one.
accommodate.
Yeah, because we transferred like $600,000.
What is this?
I mean, we didn't
The
transfer.
design,
it.
probably.
We didn't transfer it, sorry, it's in my CIP. We're building a wall, redoing a wall on Spring Hill Court. We're having to take the wall down because it is a line of sight issue. So we're having to go in, demolish it, take down a shed, and tear up a driveway, redo the whole wall on Spring Hill Court. And the way Nick and the McCrory Williams people describe it, it's going to take a while to rebuild the whole thing.
So you got to get the design done before you.
You got to
can
get the
contract
design done
this.
before we can get a contract. And then once we get the contract, then they've got to start work, which is again going to mean that we will have to close down a lane of Spring Hill Avenue. And it's on that south side.
Madam Clerk?
25-595, grant a permanent easement to Alabama Power to provide new underground service to 2442 North Ridge Road. 47-596, consider waiving the vacation fee as a condition of the vacation of a portion of Service Road and City of right-of-way located at Knollwood Drive and Medical Park Drive. You don't want to waive the rules?
Excuse me?
Do you want to waive the rules for that?
No.
Okay. Okay. Call for public hearings, 41-597, call for public hearing to consider the application of Quality Care on Wheels to operate a shuttle service scheduled for July 16th. Announcements.
Council?
I've been getting a lot of emails and calls, and we saw national news about Amtrak. Is there any update that can be provided to us about Amtrak, the state's willingness to enter into a contract, or the port's willingness to enter into a contract with Amtrak? All right.
How about the lease?
So what I can tell you is, I think there's going to be two documents. There's a lease and the funding agreement. Those documents are pretty close to coming to the council, probably closer than they've been in weeks. And had conversations with Amtrak as late as yesterday afternoon at 4:00, talking about the changes that we need and what particular what particular clauses the city was going to need and what the funding agreement would look like. So we're pretty close to putting a draft in front of you. Of course, we'll send it to you before submitting it to the agenda. But as soon as we can come to meeting of terms, it'll be moving forward. Or at least submit it to you all.
Anything from the administration? Okay. We'll see each other at 10:30.
You still got